These are the answers to skilled practice problems section 4.8. So first I'm going to solve this equation, and I want the W alone. So I'm going to eliminate the constant, which is negative 1/3, by adding 1/3 to both sides of this equation. So on the left, negative 1/3 plus 1/3 cancels, leaving me with my variable W. And on the right, I'm going to add 4/15 plus 1/3. So when I do this by hand, I need common denominators. So I will multiply here by 5/5. So I'm adding 4/15 plus, and this is 5/15. And so I get 9/15, but I do have to reduce this, and I can divide by a common factor of 3, and W will equal 3/5. Now I can check this by plugging my solution 3/5 into my equation to make sure it satisfies the equation. So if I replace W with 3/5 and subtract 1/3, I should get 4/15. So 9/15 minus 5/15 gives me this balance statement of 4/15, so that checks. So this time I want to eliminate a coefficient. And to eliminate a coefficient, we can divide both sides of the equation by the coefficient. So I'm going to divide both sides by this 3/4. So here I'm left with 1x or just x, and 5/6 divided by 3/4 is the same as multiplying 5/6 times the reciprocal, which is 4/3. And here I'm going to divide out a common factor of 2, and that's going to give me a solution of 10/9, or if you wanted to make it 1 1/9. Now, some students, instead of dividing by 3/4 right from the get-go, prefer to just multiply both sides of the equation by the reciprocal of the coefficient. So if I multiply both sides of this equation by 4/3, you'll see that I'm left with x is equal to the same answer. So it's going to be 10/9. So you either divide by the coefficient, or you can multiply by the reciprocal of the coefficient, and that'll give you the same answer. So here I want to get the y alone on the right side of the equation. So to solve this for y, I'm going to have to eliminate the constant 1/3. So I'm going to subtract 1/3 on both sides of this equation to isolate my variable y. And so negative 7/9 minus 1/3, I need a common denominator, so I'll multiply this by 3/3. So I'll have negative 7/9 minus 3/9, and that's going to be negative 10/9. So again, I'm going to eliminate a coefficient here. So I have 7 equals negative 1/4 y. And so again, I will just divide both sides by the coefficient, negative 1/4. So I have 7 divided by negative 1/4, which if I'm doing this by hand, it'll be 7 times negative 4/1, which is going to give me negative 28/1, or just negative 28. So for number 5, again, I want to eliminate a coefficient, negative 4. So if I divide both sides of this equation by the coefficient, I'm dividing both sides by negative 4. So I have negative 2/5 divided by negative 4. So I keep the first fraction and I change to multiplication and I flip the second fraction. And again, when I multiply two negatives, I get a positive. I'm going to reduce this 2/4 to 1/2. So I get a positive 1/10. So 1/10 equals x is your solution. Now I have a two-step equation. I want to eliminate the constant first and then the coefficient. So I'm going to start by adding 1/4 to both sides of this equation. So I have 2/3 x equals, and again, when I add, I need common denominators, so that's 2/2. So I'm going to have 6/4 plus 1/4, so that's 7/4. And now I'm going to divide by the coefficient, which is this 2/3. So I'm dividing both sides by 2/3. So I have 7/4 divided by 2/3. So if I'm doing this by hand, I keep the first fraction, change to multiplication, and I flip the second fraction. So this is going to give me 21/8. So x is 21/8. And if you feel the need to change it to a mixed number, it would be 2 and 5/8. So either answer is fine. Problem number 8, again, it's going to take 2 steps to get the x by itself. First, you add the constant. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides of this equation. So negative 3/8 x is equal to, and then I'm going to have 1/4 plus 3. So if I add 1/4 plus 3, I want them to have common denominators. So I'm going to multiply by 4/4 here. So 1/4 plus 12/4 is equal to 13/4. So negative 3/8 x equals 13/4. And now I'm going to divide by the coefficient, negative 3/8. So x will equal 13/4 divided by negative 3/8. So I keep and I change division to multiplication and I flip the second fraction. I'm going to divide out common factors here, and that gives me negative 26/3. And if you feel the need to make this a mixed number, we divide 3 into 26. It'll go 8 times with 2/3 remaining. So either answer, negative 26/3 or negative 8 and 2/3.